What rings true? What rings false?
In all the 45 years since I was born, I've never seen the tribalism that is in our politics today, which is in our media today. The distrust that the public have with our media, with our politicians, whether you're talking about the UK or America, is massive. I have no trust in the mass media because I've seen them lie way too many times. I have no trust in the American mass media because I've seen them lie and twist things. What we have at this present moment is a gentleman called Brett Kavanagh. Brett Kavanagh has been a lawyer, been a judge for a good part of his life. He's been an upstanding citizen of the United States of America, not a blemish on his record. Ever since the president nominated Brett Kavanagh to go into the Supreme Court, the Democrats have really tried to slow the process down. They tried to slow the process down in reference to getting more paperwork, and then when they had more paperwork, they said it was too much paperwork to read and it has to be slowed down because they haven't got enough time to actually process it. And all they're really doing is slow it down to the point of the midterms, hoping they get more seats at the midterms, and then by that time they'll have more votes, and then of course the process will carry on, and then by that time it'll probably be the next general election, and hopefully the Republicans won't get Brett Kavanagh into the Supreme Court.
To remind us, Democrats may be trying to move the goalpost every 5 minutes, but their goal has not moved an inch. They will not be satisfied unless they have brought down Judge Kavanaugh's nomination.
And you can tell Mitch McConnell, I mean, that is Cocaine Mitch amped up right there. I mean, that's seriously what Mitch McConnell looks like when he is angry and amped up. Not a joke. Okay, and there's a reason Republicans are unified on this one, and it's because this feels like a witch hunt. This feels as though the Democrats are fully intent on destroying a good man simply for the sake of delaying a Supreme Court nomination. And the Democrats, I will say, there are certain times in American politics that are very difficult to watch. This is one of those times because things are so ugly and so acrimonious and so nasty right now that you find yourself fulminating about it even when you don't want to think about politics. The idea that somebody can be railroaded on one allegation with no corroborative evidence, and as we will see, a lot of evidence that cuts the other way, and that this is supposed to finish people's lives. If you're a good person, you should be thinking twice about whether this is the society that you actually want to live in. Do you want the possibility that someone can come forward with an allegation against you at any time and destroy you? Good people will not go into American public life. They won't. Really, they won't. A lot of folks ask me if I ever want to run for office. I will tell you this, 10 years ago, I was much more interested in running for office than I am now. And one of the reasons is because the way people are treated when they run for office or are on the judiciary or are in good stead making policy, that is not something you want to put your family through.
So what do you have? You have Brett Kavanagh that's actually got a did have, should I say, a very, very good reputation. Not just for the work he's done in the past for the United States of America, but also with the women that he's worked with. Most of his staff were actually women, as far as I know. Now, this is the government, this is the parts of the government that are actually going against this one man without any evidence whatsoever to prove their case. And the only reason they're doing it is because they want to stop him from going into the Supreme Court. So the Democrats, what they're basically doing is fighting Trump. And they're willing to use a woman that probably was raped. I don't believe that Brett Kavanagh raped her, but she probably was raped. They're willing to use her and destroy a brave, innocent man just to get into power. That's it. They don't care who they step over. They just care about getting into power. Would you really want a party like that in control of your country? Because I know I would.
It was predictable, and as I predicted, my family and my name have been totally and permanently destroyed by vicious and false additional accusations. The 10-day delay has been harmful to me and my family, to the Supreme Court, and to the country. When this allegation first arose, I welcomed any kind of investigation, Senate, FBI, or otherwise. The committee now has conducted a thorough investigation, and I've cooperated fully. I know that any kind of investigation, Senate, FBI, Montgomery County Police, whatever, will clear me. Listen to the people I know. Listen to the people who've known me my whole life. Listen to the people I've grown up with and worked with and played with and coached with and dated and taught and gone to games with and had beers with. And listen to the witnesses who allegedly were at this event 36 years ago. Listen to Miss Kaiser. She does not know me. I was not at the party described by Dr. Ford. This confirmation process has become a national disgrace. The Constitution gives the Senate an important role in the confirmation process, but you have replaced advice and consent with search and destroy. Since my nomination in July, there's been a frenzy on the left to come up with something, anything, to block my confirmation. Shortly after I was nominated, the Democratic Senate leader said he would, quote, oppose me with everything he's got. A Democratic senator on this committee publicly referred to me as evil. Evil. Think about that word. And said that those who supported me were, quote, complicit in evil. Another Democratic senator on this committee said, quote, Judge Kavanagh is your worst nightmare. A former head of the Democratic National Committee said, quote, Judge Kavanagh will threaten the lives of millions of Americans for decades to come. I understand the passions of the moment, but I would say to those senators, your words have meaning.
So, to summarise, we have a woman or women that have been used, I believe used by the Democrats to try and stop a nomination, Brett Kavanaugh, from going into the Supreme Court because the Democrats want to get in power. The Democrats have also brought Brett Kavanaugh through the mud. Even though he is an innocent man, has not been proven to be guilty at all. They're willing to drag him through the mud, for his children to be involved, for his whole family to be involved, for his children to cry and pray for the rape victim. Democrats have no issues with this. They're just hungry for power. In any which way you want to look at this, knowing the factual statements, how can any American vote for the Democrats again?
Do you believe that President Trump is going to stand by you throughout?
I know he's going to stand by me. He called me this afternoon and said he's standing by me.